Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. How good was the networking first? Did it get you re-energized or? Good morning.
Good morning.
That's good. That's good. We want all the energy today in the room. I'm really excited to see you all. Should I go there? Really excited. Somebody was saying how exciting was seeing everybody in the same room that is working with the small businesses in the state of California. I think this is just so exciting to have you all as part of the of this new initiative, but especially just to have you seen you and have the opportunity to interact with each other, right? We want to make sure that this is the vibe, the feeling that we keep and bring to the whole 3 and 5 years of this project. To keep this energy, to keep like that building connections, that ecosystem building that we've been talking. So we are very excited to have you all here. For those that don't know me, I'm Carolina Martinez, the CEO of Cameo. We are thrilled to be part of this initiative. We're very excited to have you all here. You're probably going to be hearing quite a bit from the Cameo team later, but I just wanted to welcome you today to a session where we're going to learn a little bit more about the vision of this initiative, how and why we are part of this, and how we can really help the small businesses we work with. We've been seeing and we've lived through the pandemic, the economic crisis, the inflation. We've seen how the businesses we work with have suffered and sometimes have not even heard about so many initiatives about them. And this looks to really solve that issue. How do we bring the information to them, and how do we build the connections to help them succeed? So I'm really excited about today, but I'm definitely going to turn it over now to the start of the day. But I wanted just to stop here and say we want to solve as many questions as you might have. We want to make sure that you're clear about how this program is going to work and how you are going to interact with each other. And we are very grateful to have today Director Tarlene Gray with us from CalOSBA. And I think she needs no introduction to all of us, but I just should say that since she was sworn in 2021, she's really shown us her commitment to support small businesses, especially underserved and entrepreneurs of color. And we're very grateful to have such an advocate at such a high office to really help and build innovative programs that could really help the economy and our small businesses. So we're really excited. I think part of it is closing opportunity gaps, really looking to bring opportunities and bridging the role of women and BIPOC small businesses into the arena is something that you've taken the flag and you are leading us towards. So we're really grateful for your leadership, and without further ado, I just turn over to you, Dr. Tarlene Gray.
So Heidi, I see you.
Why don't we do our thing?
This is how we do it. If you know the song, feel free to join in. This is how we do it.
It's Friday.
This is how we do it. This is how California is coming to the State Small Business Credit Initiative. I have such a loud voice, I don't even really need the microphone. I cannot tell you how proud I am to see all of you in this room. I cannot tell you how proud I am of my staff who's scattered throughout the room. I said, yeah, no, we're not doing it like that. We're going to do it like this. And they kind of all looked at me like I was crazy, and I probably was. May still be, jury's still out. But this is the incarnation. This is the living network that represents California and our effort to provide access to capital for California's small and underserved businesses. It's a tall order, very tall order. We have $1 billion in SSBCI capital in our capital programs, and we have $25 million for TA. Right? But here's the good news. Before COVID, nobody gave a darn about what we were doing. So thank you. The silver lining from COVID is that people know what technical assistance is now. And they actually think that small businesses need it. So the old timers, like my friends in the back, like my friends up front, those of us that have been doing this for a very long time, we know what everyone else discovered. And thank goodness, even though it's not enough money, we are proud to have the allocation for California for small business technical assistance for capital readiness. And you all are witnessing today, or gonna witness at some point in time, the launch of this fabulous network. So without slides, I can still come on, take time to do this. I'm not worried. So one of the things that I really want to talk about today is really the why behind the way this network is being organized. So I have some fancy slides here that talk about our capital infusion program that we have been running for 5 years now. And that capital infusion program has been providing access to capital for diverse entrepreneurs for the last 5 years. And that network has counseled, and it's only a slice of our total 107 centers that we are funding this year. But that network has counseled over 126,000 unique small businesses and provided more than $2.5 billion in access to capital. So that program is really run by our 5 SBDC networks, and they have been putting out a tremendous amount of small business, one-on-one technical assistance classes, training, you name it. If it's a small business looking for capital, they've been doing that work in the capital infusion program. So it was really a no-brainer to us. We had a model, and we know that we can get our diverse entrepreneurs access to capital, but need to add a little bit more to California's secret sauce in this area. And that's where those of you in the room that have not participated in that program, this is where you all come in. We know that as trusted messengers, as trusted entities in the communities that you represent across this state, that we cannot undertake what Treasury has put in front of us without you. Just can't. You can't. Because capacity building is the name of the game, right? Making sure that we get to every corner of our state. We have worked really hard. My spreadsheet guru, Joy, stand up, please. And her supervisor, Shalon. I can't tell you the number of times I said to them, we don't have it right yet. Joy, what are my numbers? What are my stats? How are we doing on diversity? How are we doing on SETI? Are we there yet? And Joy, thank you for every single time that you went back to that spreadsheet and helped us get our numbers where they are. And I'm happy to report that this network that will be providing services, 63% diverse. Thank you. And the master of access to capital on my team is Chris Earl. Chris, let the people know who you are if they don't already. Chris is always, boss, I think we should think about this. Boss, I think we should look at it a different way. So here we are. The team has helped us get to this point, and for them, I am forever grateful. Last team member I do want to introduce this morning is Claire Whitmer. Claire! Claire has been serving as the Northern California Regional Advisor and Assistant Deputy Director for Regional Economic Engagement. And Claire is just recently moving into acting Deputy Director.
Congratulations.
And we'll congratulate her on that move. So this is the team that is behind the state's effort to help build this technical assistance for capital readiness network. So I think, let's see, where am I on the slides? Do you have a clicker? Let's click. All right, we're past that slide for sure. All right, this is what we're building. Although it doesn't look like we're in the right order here. Heidi, this isn't that's not the one we rearranged together. All right, click to the next slide for me. All right, yeah, that's the original. That's not the saved version that that's all right, that's all right. We'll click through and get to the right places. Let's see, I talked through, let's stop right here. Let's stop right here. Right, because that's what this is about. So I talked a little bit about the network that is providing access to capital for our small businesses, but I want to focus right here for just a minute. This is an event that I went to. Yes, some friends are in the photo. They are discovering themselves right now. But this is an event that I went to celebrate the success of entrepreneurs in Watsonville at the kitchen. And I keep this slide as a part of the presentation on this because to me it centers us. It centers us on what we are doing and who we are helping. So Treasury has been very clear that we must provide services to socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. And this is a celebration here, what you see on the screen, of entrepreneurs that are making their first sales at an annual event. And man, the pride, the power in the room, unbelievable. As I'm having trouble shopping anyways, but give me a really good reason and I'm all in. And I went from shop to shop to shop, food goods, cafe de olla, garlic sauce. Oh, actually, I just had some of that garlic sauce yesterday. Yeah, amazing, amazing. The Nopalito King was there. I mean, the best Nepalis I have ever had right out of this kitchen and this small business incubator that incubated 100 businesses with our Dream Fund monies. Amazing show. Yes. Amazing show of solidarity amongst those that are providing services. Amazing show of solidarity amongst those small businesses that are receiving services. And just unbelievable. The spirit, the love, but most importantly, the opportunity that represents. There are people that come to our country and they're coming to pursue a dream. And that dream was alive and well in this space, and anybody in it could be so moved by what they saw and what they experienced. So I used this slide to just ground us. This is why we are doing what we are doing. And they are representative of the entrepreneurs who need our services. So let's go back, Claire. Yep. Those of you that are here responded to an RFP, and that RFP had these categories, what we call categories of providers in it. And it represents what we think are the basic roles that this network needs. Now, I'm not going to go through each of them, but I just want to ground us on those roles. And then, Claire, if you would go back to the mesh network diagram. So, we have traditionally worked in a hub and spoke model. We're the hub at CalOSBA. We give some money to partners, and it's a direct one-on-one relationship, right? So the techie in me that used to be in IT knows that hub and spoke, you have a failure in the node, or you have a failure in the hub, and that entire line is broken, right? If you go mesh, then everybody talks to everybody, and the entire power of the network is exponentially grown. So that's what you see here. This is where we're going to prove the naysayers wrong, right here, right here. So we are putting the small business at the center instead of us, right? We're making the rules. We're determining who gets the money. We're saying this is how we're going to do it, right? But no longer is CalOSBA at the center. We are not the focus of the services. We are not providing direct services, and we are not the recipients of the direct services. So it does not make sense to me that CalOSBA should be at the center of the network. So we are placing our small businesses at the center of this network, and we are placing the rest of you around the small business because you have what they need. You have the one-on-one counseling. You have the classes. You have the experience delivering capital to them. Does not mean that we are irrelevant. We maintain relevance, right? But it's not necessary to show that through the diagram. So first and foremost, we want you to understand that the development of this network, the design of this network, has an intent behind it, and that is to move the small business from someplace off in the corner, like some poor recipient of something we cannot name, and to put them in the intentionality in upgrading their status, right? And then all of you provide these services in and around our small businesses. Amazing the dialogue that one little shift like that made. But we believe that we can do this. We believe that it will be purposeful. We believe that we will have results. Chris Earl set a really tall bar while I was on leave, getting bionic parts. And those of you who know me for a long time know that I needed those bionic parts really bad. Set us a really tall bar. We want to do 40,000 transactions. 40,000. And why did I start with the Capital Infusion Network and the 126,000 counseled and 2.5 billion in capital access? It's because we have a model. We have a model 5 years old, and we know that that model, without the rest of you in the room, got us halfway to where we need to be for the next 5 years. And so we are banking on that experience as our capital coaches and bringing the rest of us along to be able to deliver similar services. I don't know where we are in, let's just look through. Oh, there we go. That's a good place to land. All right, so I've talked a little bit about the network and its design. Let's talk about where our folks are gonna land. David, who you're gonna hear from a little bit later, he and my team have worked tirelessly on putting a front end, a front door, if you will, on our capital readiness program. So from our website, any small business that is interested in these services, and we know that they are interested because the number one question at every event that we do, it doesn't matter what the topic is, right? We could be at a marketing seminar and small businesses ask us, show me the money. Where's the money? How do I get to the money? Where are the grants? And we used to be able to say, oh, we've got a grant that covers that, and a grant that covers that, and oh yeah, we have a grant for that. But you all know where we are in terms of fiscal realities now at the state, so not likely that more grant money will be coming. So it's imperative that we focus our people and our efforts on this access to capital program, because we know there's $1 billion there, right? So our interested small businesses will be able to come to our website. They will be able to see a representation of the state, find their place by zip code, and immediately be referred to the network and the providers closest to them by zip code. And then they will matriculate through this beautiful process down here that David is going to go through next. Next slide, Claire. Yep. All right, so this is what we see at a high level as the journey that a small business will be making through this network. They will come to the network through anywhere, right? I've said you're trusted partners and you're out in the community, right? It could be church, it could be a barbecue, right? It could be a street fair, it could be any way, any place that you all have set up shop to talk about your primary services. That's where that small business could meet you and could enter into the system, right? They're introduced to one of the partners that can help, right? and then they will be taken through the small business technical assistance framework, right? And then when they are ready for capital, they will go to a lender, and if they get funded, great. If they do not get funded, then where do they go?
Education.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Monica. Education, they go back. They collect their $200. They pass go. They recycle. Right? They go back in. I'm just joking about the $200. We're on the head locking. Retrograde said $200. We're just joking. So they will work with a TA provider, and they will go back through the system until we're successful getting them capital ready. And we picked a couple of different capital providers that cross the spectrum. Mission-based lenders, CDFIs, some with patient capital, some with traditional capital to participate in the network in a way we hope anticipates the various different kinds of needs that will bubble up outside of the network. So this is it. This is what we're doing. I know it's a tall order, and I know it's a big lift. And I know there are people with leads and all kinds of stuff that they're accustomed to having on their own and keeping to themselves. And I am asking you to try this with me and see whether or not we really can create a democratized access to capital for the socially and economically disadvantaged businesses in the state of California. It is not easy. This is not for the faint of heart. Get your journal out and journal your struggles every single day, but don't complain. Suggest. That's exactly right. Because if you come with a problem, my team is already trained to ask, what's the solution? Have you thought about how we can solve this problem together? Because that's what we are doing here. This is one California. We have one opportunity to get this right. And the Office of the Small Business Advocate inside of the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development is counting on you. So look at your neighbor and say, I'm counting on you.
I'm counting on you.
That's right. That's right. And the choir will say, Amen.